Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Oh my god, surprise! You thought I gave up on my manga channel? You think wrong. I am coming back bigger and better than ever because today I'm finally doing something that I should have done a long time ago, and that is continue Witch Hat Atelier because we are so close to 2025, which means we are so close to having the anime for Witch Hat Atelier. Oh, and I'm finally going to find out how to actually pronounce Atelier. I did do a couple of Witch Hat Atelier videos a few months back, but I didn't really love making those videos. They weren't that fun for me, but you know what is fun for me? Silly, relaxed, chill, cozy reading vlogs. Those are fun for me. So today I'm finally going to get past volume 1 because I've never gone past volume 1 before. I read this volume 2 years ago for the first time, and then I started rereading it for my ARC series, and now I'm going to have to read it for a third time before I can finally get to volume 2, which I've never read before. But if you do not know Witch Hat Atelier, it is a fantasy manga series where we follow Coco, who has always wanted to be a witch. One day she does cast forbidden magic and she now has to train to be a witch in order to save her mother, but also go on this amazing character journey. And I love the first volume so much. You wouldn't think it, considering it's taken so long for me to continue the series, but we had to rectify that today. I'm definitely going to be binging at least the first 6 volumes in this video. I will let you know if I end up making it past that. In fact, you will find out yourself if you keep watching, because it's Christmas time right now for me and I need a break. I need to read something that I know I'm going to love. And this is perfect to read over Christmas. It's currently Christmas Eve. If I don't get to volumes 7 through 12, and I think volume 13 comes out in January, if I don't get to those in this video, I will definitely do a part 2 that I'll upload in January when volume 13 comes out. I might even make it to volume 7, depends on how volume 6 ends. I'm just so excited. I haven't read manga properly in months, and I love manga so much. I've got a whole room dedicated to manga. Oh my god. This will be filled with spoilers, by the way, so if you have not yet read the volumes, then please do come back when you have read it. But before you go, please do like this video, subscribe if you haven't already. Let's stop wasting time. Let's get back into Witch Hat Atelier, and let's have the most magical week. Oh guys, I love it so much. You have no idea. I've just finished volume 1 again. And so there are so many things that I talk about in the very first 2 videos that I did for Witch Hat Atelier that I don't really want to repeat myself, but you know, just like basic level of what I love about the first volume. Love the introduction of the characters. I love how Coco is living my dream. Even in the 5th chapter that I read, which I haven't done a video on yet, just seeing her reactions to the world is exactly the kind of reactions that I would have. The way that she sees like a tree inside of that shop and what was the stationers, that's exactly what I would be like. And there are places in the world that do have like trees inside. I mean, the kind of like fake trees, I think, but if I had seen that myself with my own 2 eyeballs, I would have died. But anyway, like to begin with, like for the start of this story, just like going back to, you know, like some thoughts that I already have done before, I will briefly touch on just to give this video a bit of a completionist thing. I love the introduction of this world. I so love how the story unfolds with Coco and Master Qifrey coming to where she lives, and the way that she oversees Qifrey perform magic, the way she discovers magic and how to, you know, perform it. What a fantastic introduction to a series. I think this might literally be one of my favorite volume 1s of a manga ever. Like it's up there with like One Piece and Berserk. The world building aspect of this, like we find out about like the sigils and like the symbols that they make, and there's even more things that we discover every single chapter. There might be like some kind of magic water that's like in the form of a bubble that you can just drink from, or they can like fly with these shoes that they put the symbol on the bottom of. And the ink from the tray that we were shown in the 5th chapter, so good that can be used as conjuring ink. What? Like there's just so many things that builds this world, and it's just the first volume, and I still feel like there's so much more to discover with it. Coco is so endearing. I love the friends that she's making. Agot is like so interesting as well. I kind of love the fact that she doesn't just kiss Coco's butt or like kind of supports her from the off. I do think Coco needs somebody to challenge her and to make her a stronger person, because I feel like if everyone was egging Coco on and being so supportive, I feel like that would be a bit too much. But Agot just perfectly balances the friend she makes at the atelier. I love Master Qifrey, but he is a weird one. I'm not sure if I fully trust him, because he is like talking to other people. There's a specific moment that I talked about in my very first video where his face is cast in shadow, and I don't know if he's like fully good or like anything like that. I feel like he is, but there's just like something else about him, and it just intrigues me so much, and I love him. I want to be with him. I want him to teach me magic. I have so many manga husbands, you have no idea, Ace from One Piece is still my #1 manga husband of all time, of course. But Master Quifrey, oh, he's so lovely and mysterious because, again, like that moment with the shadow, face casting shadow and talking to someone, that is a bit weird. But that witch, the witch who sold Coco the magic spellbook years ago, and she's led Coco and her friends to this other place, and she says, oh, welcome to the world of magic. And there's like this massive dragon. That's where I got to 2 years ago, and I've never gotten past that chapter before. So I'm so excited to finally find out what happens next. Like, do they survive? Is this the end? Like, I don't know. What a cliffhanger. What a cliffhanger. I have Patreon reading sprints in about 45 minutes, so I'm going to see if I can get through some of volume 2, keep coming in, checking in with you about my progress with Witch Hat Atelier. But oh my god, like this is reminding me just how much I love manga and how much I miss manga so much, and like how magical it is and how wonderful it is. Like the illustrations in this I haven't even talked about yet, but oh my god, one of the most beautifulest manga illustrations I've ever seen. It's up there with Kentaro Miura with Berserk, Kamome, Shirahama. Amazing, absolutely amazing. Beautiful story, beautiful illustrations. I'm obsessed again. Like I keep getting obsessed. I'm about to make myself a cappuccino with decaf coffee because it is getting on a little bit and I don't want to be up all night essentially. Although maybe for Witch Hat Atelier, could you imagine? A Witch Hat Atelier 24-hour readathon or something. Anyway, I want to make myself a coffee. I have my One Piece mug. I would love to get a Witch Hat Atelier mug actually. I'm going to say if they do them. They might sell some on Etsy, maybe. But I quickly wanted to mention about Coco's mother because I didn't mention that before. And I do talk about it again in my other Witch Hat Atelier video. But I do love the fact that we have this driving force for Coco now. Like there is so much at stake in order to save her mother. So much guilt that is like within Coco that she's now going to have to try and work through. The stakes of the story couldn't be higher. What if she can't save her mother? That's the thing. Like, will she? Won't she? I'm actually kind of scared that she won't be able to save her mother. What if her mother is trapped in that stone or whatever it was that she was trapped in forever? What if she can't undo it? But yeah, I'm a little bit scared about that. And I do like being able to get Coco away from being with her mother in a way that, you know, me as a reader can feel like, oh yeah, this is believable. Because there was no way Coco, I think, would leave her mother unless something like bad had happened to her. And death is not an option. So now Coco can go on this adventure and learn how to be a witch, and she has something to strive towards without anything kind of holding her back. But yeah, I want to talk about that quickly before I move on to volume 2 and try this decaf coffee, which I haven't tried yet. I hope it's nice. Okay, I can confirm that the coffee is actually quite nice. Not too bad, not too shabby. Let's get into volume 2 though for the first time. Oh, so excited. And I am so excited for Christmas Eve sprints with my patrons. Finally, after all this time, I know what happens with the dragon, and I love seeing the main characters work together for once. I just felt so bad for Coco because she does keep getting things wrong. Is it Tetia? Tesha? I'm going to call it Tetia. But I do feel like maybe I'm saying her name wrong. Even there was that moment where she glares at Coco and I was like, no, we can't have you turning against Coco as well because Agot, she already gives Coco enough grief. So we do not need anyone else to do that. My heart broke for Coco as well when Agot was like, can you just quit trying? Because yeah, Coco does mess things up every now and then. But she always comes through with a plan. So I love the fact that they all work together to get past the dragon. Fortunately, Master Quifrey got there in time as well. Otherwise, it might not have gone as well as they would have liked. But that was a very exciting segment. I think that was an entire arc as well. I think that was like actually the next arc that I needed to read for Witch Hat Atelier. Yeah, I'm about to start chapter 8. Still on sprints. We're going to be here for a few hours. Great start to the sprints as well. I had Tobo lying with me just like 5 minutes ago. He's very fussy though. He'll lay with me for about 10 minutes, which is more than usual, and then he buggered off. But now at least I can probably like read this a little bit quicker because he is very distracting. Any of my cats, when they want to be petted, distracting. I can't read. We need to talk about the brim caps. The forbidden magic, the fact that they got Coco and they were like, okay, we're gonna like test you in a way. And one of the brim caps as well says, I've been waiting such a very long time for my seed to sprout. Is she going to make like Coco evil? When my time comes, I will teach you the things Quifrey cannot. What a glorious time that will be. Is she going to turn Coco evil? Allow me to send you home with a little gift. What gift? What's going on? Oh my god, the brim cap's so intriguing. But at this point, what part of Witch Hat Atelier is not intriguing? I did also forget to turn the mic on, so if the sound of this clip was not that great, I apologise. And just who is this handsome stranger, huh? What is his name? Alrugio? Alrugio? Can you say it, Tobu? No? Okay. Bye-bye. It's going to be every single volume, isn't it? There's going to be a chapter that ends on a cliffhanger and you have to wait for the next volume. So when I say I'm going to read up to volume 6, I'm starting to think maybe that might not be the case. Like, the way volume 2 ends with the Knights Morales, like, are they actually good guys? I feel like they are, but they are, like, sticklers for the rules. And obviously they don't really align with our main character because, you know, if they find out about her, they will erase her memory. And it looks like they're about to erase her memory at the very end of the volume. And she casted some kind of magic that was way too powerful and way too forbidden for her to cast. I loved Agot and Coco working together to save that guy. And Agot is so right. When she said about Coco, like, never giving up and always trying, she is so correct. And every single time that Coco does something that is so impressive, it's because she's been learning. We see her actually observing other people and learning. So the thing that she does at the end of volume 2, when she saves, you know, the guy with the, like, the sand and, you know, smashing the boulders with the little symbols and stuff, that was all stuff that she observed when she was watching her friends do that when they went to the other world or like the other realm or wherever that was. She actually pays attention, she's learning, and I'm loving seeing her progress, because when she does save someone out of nowhere, it isn't actually out of nowhere. We see her actually learn that, and it's so good. And it feels like as well that Agot has some kind of family past. I feel like she was maybe like cast out of her family or something, because they're saying like she's not good enough for the family. They call her average and a disappointment and all of that, and I'm just like, how can you say that about Agot? She's amazing, she's brilliant. And now I'm starting to understand a bit more of like how anal she is about being perfect and the kind of chilly reception she's given Coco. But this moment right here is what got me. Because it's Coco asking Agot for help, and Agot is like, okay, we're gonna work through this, we're gonna do this, I'm gonna help you. Oh, it was like the first time like they've really, really, truly connected, like just one-on-one, and have actually overcome something. Although how long they've overcome something for, I do not know. I can't tell you, because the bloody Knights Morales. I just love learning about this world very, very slowly, and that's exactly what is happening so far. This world is so slowly expanding. I feel like I'm like Coco. I'm learning as I'm going, and there's so much to learn. It's almost overwhelming, but it's kind of not, because everything we're learning about this world is sprinkled through. It's not like info dumpy. It's not like too much at once. It's actually very nicely paced. So far. There's nothing I hate more than adults who treat kids like things instead of people. Yes! Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm just loving this so much. Friends sticking up for friends in a time of need. Okay, so I accidentally binged volume 3 and 4 without giving you an update. I apologize. It was getting late, I was on sprints, and I didn't really fancy like stopping reading to record. I just wanted to continue immersing myself in this. I will say by the end of volume 3, I wasn't as invested as the first 2 volumes, but then the end of volume 4 definitely got me way more invested again. And there are definitely like 3 characters I want to focus on in this update, especially Tata. Oh, I'll probably say their names so wrong. Oh my god, you're probably all making so much fun of me in the comments below, or at home me just like laughing because of how bad my pronunciations are. And then Riche? I need this anime like right now so I can learn how to pronounce these names. And then Agot as well. Like those 3 I definitely want to focus on in this update. So firstly, Tata, oh my gosh, what an adorable kid. And his friendship with Coco so far is so cute. Especially since Tata has so much like self-esteem issues, because he has this silver wash which like bathes the entire world in this like silver light. And it is like a visual impairment in this world. So that does impede him in some of his goals. But what I love about it is that, you know, we have Coco who is just stumbling into this world, and she kind of highlights to him the advantages that he has, and that he needs to like continue looking inward in order to overcome what he thinks is holding him back. When he says, not this again, why does everyone else just assume we all see the world the same way? I love the fact that this manga series is introducing different disabilities so that we can also see that everyone in this world, all the witches, even the people who aren't witches, are just as different from one another as we are in the real world. It isn't until Coco is in the hospital and he needs to push himself even further in order to help her, that's when he realizes his own self-worth, and I love that moment so much. The way that he's able to figure out the ingredients that will help her is just so remarkable, and the fact that it inspires him too. And then you see him when he's saying goodbye to Coco, he's like, I'm going to make you a pen, I promise, and I'm going to use my own magic to deliver it to you. Like, that was so inspiring, that was so good. Like, I love Tata so much, and I can't wait to see if anything happens between Coco and Tata, if they get closer as friends or anything. I'm there for it. I'm genuinely there for it. Before I move on to Agot, I do want to say again, Quiffery is interesting in terms of I don't know if he's 100% good. Even Tata sees a little bit of darkness in his eyes. He says for a second there something about his eyes seemed cold, and he's told about Quiffery because it seems like Quiffery's erased the memory of the stationery shop owner guy. All the names will stick in my brain eventually, but it does seem like Quiffery's erased someone's memory. And then when Tata says he noticed something cold in Quiffery's eyes, I'm telling you, I don't think Quiffery is as straightforward as we believe him to be, because there's a brief moment when Tata doesn't trust him, and I do feel like that's going to come back. Yeah, when Tata is like, this is how great it feels to finally manage something you weren't capable of before. It's just like overcoming adversity, and in a way he perfectly reflects Coco, who is learning herself and she's doing things for the first time. There is nothing to hold us back. There is nothing that we can't do ourselves. If we just keep pushing and pushing and pushing, we can make it. And I love that message so much that's represented through Tata during Volume 3. So with the Pinnacle approving, God is on to the next step, but so is Richie. Oh my god, I'm so bad at this. Richie. I was going to try and look up pronunciations on YouTube, but I don't want to come across spoilers by accident, which happens a lot. I might just call her Rich. I've got God, I've got Rich. So Rich is signed up for that test when she doesn't want to, because what I find so fascinating about her is that she's kind of went under the radar a little bit in the first couple of volumes. She has always been there, but out of her and the other girls, she's probably the one who's like the least vocal. And by this point, she has become such a focal point. And it's so interesting to see her psyche, the way that she doesn't want to use other people's magic because she doesn't want it to taint her own. So she doesn't want to learn spells that other people have done. Like, she wants to do her own thing. Love the fact that we got a little bit of backstory where it turns out that she is being told by her brother that he doesn't want her to change, and that her magic is amazing and unique, and she wants to retain that uniqueness in herself. And so I totally get her struggles as well. I'm loving that we're getting like little glimpses into them, because we got a little bit of Agot in a couple of volumes ago where we saw a little bit about her family beforehand, and now we're also seeing Rich. She says, I don't need anyone else's magic, I refuse to let mine be tainted. And her big brother loves the way your spells are just like you. I hope you never change, just the way you are now. But then he leaves, and I'm like, okay, what happened to her brother? Why did he leave? Was he just like growing up? Is he just, going off to school or something? So again, I'm very excited to learn the backstories of these characters, because we've only had like a little sliver of each person, like a little bit of a taste. I really want to get more Master Quiffery's backstory, oh my gosh. But it's the actual test itself in Volume 4 that got me hooked again. So there's like this other apprentice who comes into it. I can't really remember his name too much. I'll put it on the screen. Bless him, like his master was awful to him, didn't really support him at all. And then when he finally started to stand up for himself and get a little bit more confidence for the test, he gets taken over and he becomes this weird creature thing. I hope that's reversible, because oh my god, that was terrifying. Not just that, but the brimmed caps actually interrupting the test where Rich and Agot are, trying to do their test, and Rich was like so reluctant too. Oh my gosh, she was literally about to bite Quiffery's head off, and for good reason. Like, you can't just like throw someone into a test without preparing them for it. Although I do feel like Quiffery has prepared her for it, but she didn't know she was doing this today. There was nothing worse than me just going about my business, going about my day, and then boom, test. Oh, I would hate it so much. But Agot is so excited for it. But I love, oh my god, okay, so the brim caps come, one of the brim caps come, and they're looking for Coco. And Agot, she leaves this protective shield. She goes up to the brim caps and she says, oh, they erased her memory, they took her back to the village. She was like trying so hard to protect Coco, and she didn't even really have to. She could have stayed in that protective bubble, but no, she chose danger in order to stand up for Coco and protect her. Oh my god, and she's not even there. Coco's not even there. At least for now. At the end of Volume 4, oh my gosh, who knows what's going to happen next. But the fact that now we are in Volume 4, and Agot is already stand up for Coco, and in Volume 1, she wasn't even really that nice to Coco. She didn't even want her there. I mean, it has been kind of fast, but it's been a really amazing journey already in terms of like how close they're getting. Because, the danger has been non-stop, really. And there was a part where Agot and I think Rich were also like, you know what, actually, yeah, ever since since Coco's come here, it's felt so unnatural, like how much danger we've been in. So there's definitely something amiss. There's definitely something afoot there. Oh, the story's been so good. It's been so, so good. There was a little bit of a lull when Coco goes to the hospital, but I felt like that was so important in order to build Tata up as a secondary character who is probably most likely going to become a fully fledged main character. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But yeah, 4 volumes down. I'm going to read 2 more in this video. Potentially 3, depending on how volume 6 ends. But yeah, I made a coffee in my Spy Family mug for this update, and I'd already pretty much finished it before I even started the update. Now I've gotten coffee all over my shelves. Oops. At least my shelves smell like coffee now. I think I found a new manga husband. I have seriously lost track how many manga husbands I have at this minute. I've gotten quite a few, probably a dozen. Oh my god, volume 5 was the best volume yet. Now, I believe the end of volume 5 is also the end of the second pentagram test arc. So I've ended at a pretty good place. Yeah, I definitely thought that was the best one yet. There was so much emotion, so many lessons learned, so much working together. We have had in every volume so far, to be honest, but in a much more exciting and intense way. All of the stuff that happened in the caves or wherever the whole second pentagram test was set was just so thrilling from the very beginning. So we had these statue things that stop Quifree, Tetia and Coco, and the fact that Coco helps them but they melt. And Coco is like, why are they thanking me? Why do they sound so grateful when they are also sounding so sad? And Teshia is like, I hope we never get thanks like that. That sounds so sad. Because it is sad. They're moving on after, centuries of holding on to this anger and resentment. They've moved on. And that is so sad, even though I'd only known them for like a chapter or 2. But it still enhances the history of this world. And it was just so nice to see them save Quifree and progress this arc along. Also, the person I'll be calling Rich, their full name is Richelette. So do I call her Rish? Is her name Rish? Am I saying that correctly now? I don't know. I just know her full name is Richelette. Also, I will say the brimmed cap that we see, like with the one eye, is actually a he. I thought maybe they were she, but actually they're a he. So I apologize for getting the gender wrong. It's kind of hard because you cannot actually say what they look like. And also I can't hear a voice. I just assumed Igwin, maybe. I just assumed Igwin. Eye of the World, the lidless one, was a woman. Terrifying though. The enemies are just getting scarier and scarier. There was a one that had no body, but then Quifree found the connection, and there is like this weird rabbit-looking monster that is on the other side of this connection with that bodiless one. And it looks like a result of forbidden magic. I'm just loving the presence and the prominence of forbidden magic, trying to get Coco to cast forbidden magic as well to help Ewan, the one who was turned into the wolf. But when the brim cap said, come Coco, it's time to draw. Oh my god, like that was so exciting, because I was almost like, are they actually going to get her to perform forbidden magic? Is she going to resist? And yes, she does. Seeing Agar, Tetia, and Coco work together in order to try and save Uni. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Oh, the names are so hard. We even see Rich, go to Alrugio and get him help. It is honestly frustrating that I can't understand character names just yet. I'm actually like frustrating myself, and I'm trying not to get frustrated with it because I'm loving the story so much, but I'm really struggling with character names. I will get there. I promise I will get there. But I'm loving Rich, and I love her journey so much too. I love the fact that she got help, and she was also saying, yeah, this spell couldn't have worked without me, but also I couldn't have done this spell without other people. Essentially, it's a spell I couldn't have made on my own, but which couldn't have been made without me. That is just so beautiful. Like the fact that she's kind of admitted that, like she wants to still help and she can still help. She isn't going to lose her identity if she allows other people to help her, if she allows other spells to help her with her spell casting. There is just so much progression with character in this. Even Agot was like being so amazing with Coco. But when Rich and Uni, when they part ways and he tells her to wait, I promise I'll be back as my real self, wait for me. And she says, of course I'll be waiting. Oh god, that got me. Oh, I'm loving the characters so much though. As much as I'm struggling with their names, I'm loving them so much. I cannot get enough of them. I also love the message that, sometimes adults can't give you the answer for everything. You have to come up with the answer yourself. Even Rich was saying this as well when she was like, okay, maybe the adults have said this is the right answer, but it's not the only answer. And then when Coco is being well, almost coerced into doing forbidden magic, she says, I don't care what you want me to draw, I'm going to draw what I want myself. So it really is like they're choosing their own destiny, they're choosing their own fate, they're walking along their own paths themselves, and they are accepting help. Like, say, Quifrey is like amazing at this. He's like such a good teacher. He is amazing at allowing his students to have the space to grow and at their own pace, so that these characters can actually go on these journeys themselves and become better people for it and still retain their individuality. Also, Miss Alera is so fantastic. She's so kick-ass. I absolutely am obsessed with her as well. So many characters I'm obsessed with. But there's also Utawin. Oh, gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm in love. I'm in love and I've only seen him once. I was both excited and scared to find out what we would discover at the Great Hall. This was a lot more of a chill volume. This was more about discovering the Great Hall and like the kind of main hub for witches, apparently, in all of the cool things that they do there. It just made me fall in love with this world even more. Like, I can't stop singing the praises of the series enough. Every single volume that I read, I just love it. I honestly love as well the fact that the Great Hall is at the bottom of the ocean. Like, that whole thing is at the bottom of the ocean. There's like this mist. Master Arugio, Master Ollie, he tells Coco about the fact that, yeah, the mist in the air is kind of what's helping them breathe. Whereas Coco was like, oh, you know, it's getting hard to breathe because of this, but actually it's what's helping you breathe. It was so cool. I love the reinvention of setting and kind of flipping things on its head in what we would expect when it comes to the world building. Shirahama just knocks it out of the park every single time. Getting to discover Belderroot, you know, Quifrey's old master, which was like, oh my gosh, at the end of that volume, I was like, I knew something was coming up. I knew something was a little bit afoot. Seeing more of him was so funny. Like, it was actually like kind of funny, but also at the same time exudes this kind of persona that I feel like sometimes you still have to watch out what you see around him. And there is something to do with Quifrey and him that I'm very excited to see, like, what happened between them. Why aren't they as close as they should be? So yeah, again, we are left on a pretty good cliffhanger. I will say volume 6 will be the last volume I read in this video, and I will do volume 7 through 12 and 13 when that comes out next month, because I feel like this is probably a good stopping point for this. Like, this volume was definitely a lot more chill than the previous volume. The story wasn't as exciting, but still enough to further develop characters, further develop the world, especially with Agot. You gotta be kidding me. Seeing someone from her family there, talking about the fact that Agot had used a stolen spell before in the past. But I love the fact that Coco just like stood up for Agot and just stood by her side the entire time. Like, there was not one sliver of doubt in Coco's mind about Agot and where she comes from. Again, love the fact that all four of them, Rich, Tetia, Coco and Agot, had to also work together again in order to impress Belderoo, because they are retaking the second pentagram test and they pass with flying colours, because of course they do. When they work together, there's nothing they can't do. Love the ingenious way of bringing the sky down to the bottom of the ocean with the rainbows and all of that. Like, so cool. But Coco cannot leave the Atelier. She cannot be joining Belderoo in becoming his apprentice. Quifrey is the perfect master. Like, he is the person for them. You cannot get better than Quifrey. And I don't think Coco will leave Quifrey and the girls for Belderoo. Like, no way, not a chance in hell. It would surprise me more if she does end up going with him, which I don't think she will do. Seeing the bonding development from like Agot with the rest of the girls, saying that she will help them, and they didn't even ask her, she just volunteered to help just straight away. It just shows so much progress in 6 volumes. And the progress that I'm going to be keeping my eye on is the progress of Coco, because there was this moment where it looked like maybe in the future, if she makes the wrong decisions, she could become evil. There is this really cool panel here where it looks like Coco has chosen the path of evil, maybe. I mean, the fit is amazing. That outfit is stunning. So I wouldn't really mind if Coco went evil, because would get that outfit, would be amazing, unless I've totally read that wrong. But I don't think so. I think that is supposed to be Coco if she makes the wrong decisions, if she goes down the path of evil. And now I'm like really intrigued to see if she actually does end up doing that. And seeing Master Ollie help the girls too was so heartwarming. I love Ollie and Quifrey so much. Like, they are like 2 gay dads to these kids, and I freaking love that. I honestly wish and hope that there is some LGBTQ plus representation in this series. I could totally see it between Quifrey and Ollie. Especially when you say Ollie has been lying asleep by Quifrey's side as Quifrey is getting treated for his injuries. He's been kind of out of the count all of this volume because he's been injured in the previous volume. And seeing Ollie so uncomfortably in this chair beside Quifrey's bed, and he's most likely been there the entire night. Oh, heartwarming. Absolutely heartwarming. That's true love, if you ask me. I gotta love it. It's just so good. It is just so good. It's making me so much more excited for the anime. I think I'm going to ask one of my friends who reads Witch Hat Atelier if she can help teach me character pronunciations and help me a little bit more with my Witch Hat Atelier journey. Because, you know, I've only read the first 6 volumes so far. Again, that was a long time coming. I do apologize for making so many people wait for so long. I should probably put these in the right order. If anything, this has just revitalized my love for Witch Hat Atelier. Not just my love for Witch Hat Atelier, but my love for manga. I am so excited to be reading more, continuing on with this series, all the series I have upstairs in my bedroom that I've been meaning to get to all year, and just immerse myself in all of that magic again. So again, not really too much more to say about volume 6. The story is definitely chugging along. I am missing the Atelier though. I'm hoping we get out of the Great Hall soon so that we can go back to the cozy setting of the Atelier and also get a little bit more of the brush buddies because they are so adorable and so cute. Like, I want more of them so badly. And I want to see if Quifrey and Ollie do something together. I'll be catching up with Witch Hat Atelier in the next month, so please do like this video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.